Directly is the key word. When something varies directly, it means the more you put in, the more you get back. The less you put in, the less you get back. It means more, less, less. That's what directly means. And now if I had said, let's say it says the amount your grade varies inversely with the amount of homework you turned in. That's right. That would mean the less you put in, the more you get back. The more you put in, the less you get back. Inversely means things are contradicting each other. Directly means they are going along with one another. Now let me ask you this. If I tell you that everything we're doing today, turn around. Everything we're doing today is either multiplication or division. Which one, multiplication or division, which one of those do you think means going with you? Multiplication. Which one do you think means going against you? Here's everything you need to know about today. When you see the word directly, you're going to be multiplying. When you see the word inversely, you're going to be dividing. That being said, let's jump into our only set of problems, but I had to break it down into a few slides because they're so big. All of these are going to start just like this. Oh, I'm sorry. All of these are going to start just like this. Now, you can watch me do the first few. Oh, I think it's 2.8. We're going to be jumping around like a jumping bean? Mexican jumping bean. That's right, thank you. I was looking for something that jumped around a lot. Or the flea in Bug's Life, or kangaroo, if you believe that stereotype. Although I believe kangaroos saunter. But anyway, all of these are going to start like this. Y varies. Anytime you see Y varies, you write Y equals. Because you're about to write an equation that's going to help us solve for our unknown constant. And I'll talk more about that in a second. So when you see the word Y varies, it means you're going to set up an equation that says how things are related to Y. Or you're going to have one or two word problems today, even though they're going to be just the same as this. So say it says your force varies. You'll write some letter for force, probably F. F equals. If you see something varies, it's going to be that equals. Yes. Okay. Slow down. Okay. Your next step will always be this. K. There's going to be some unknown K. I would have thought that it chose C because K stands for the unknown constant, the unknown factor. It's like me saying your grade varies upon your homework. Well, what's the unknown there? How much homework you turn in. We have to solve for something every time. It'll always be K. They will all start like this. Y equals K, Y equals K. What's going to change is what comes after that. Now this one says Y varies directly as X. I think as is a funky word to choose, but that's what they choose. Now directly, is that multiplication or division? There's your equation. It's going to give you one case. The first case is just to help you solve for K. Once you solve for K, then you finish the second part. Here we go. So, Y is 65, X is 5, solve for K. What's K? 13. Now I use that in my second part. Y equals 13X. What is X? So 13 times 12, muchos awesomos, 156. And that's how all of these are going to work today. You're going to start with Y equals K. When it says vary, you multiply. When it says inversely, you divide. So, that being said, how do you think I want to finish up my equation on number 3? Divide by X. Then I plug in my first set of stuff. Yeah. Oh, I plugged in. You get where the 13 came, you get where this part came from? I just plugged 13 into this. Then I went to the second step. It says find Y when X is 12. So the only reason I knew that is because Joseph had already done it. Okay, so what do I do to solve for K now? That's right. 12 equals K over 5. Multiply by K, and by 5, what is K? 60. So what's my new equation? Over 2. You go back to your original formula. So what is 60 over 2? There you go. And you've done the first two. They're all like this. The only thing that's going to change, well, there's one little bitty thing at the end, but it's very minor, I promise. And the only thing that's going to change is it won't just be X sometimes. Sometimes it'll say it's the square of X or the cube root of X. That just Only thing you do there is change what x is. So like say it said y varies directly as the square of x. Well, that'll just be x squared. Or if it said the cube root of x, that's just cube root of x. You just apply that to your x value. Let me show you. We're going to get to the bottom two, I grant you, are a tad different. We'll get to that in a second. On number 5, they put multiple in there. Y varies. We start the same way. Now it says directly as x. So what does that mean? Multiply by x. And inversely as the square of z. So what does that tell me to do? Divide by z squared. You're right. And then from there, it's just the same as the last ones. You plug in what it gives you. Y is 20, x is 50, z is 5, and I know you can solve it from there. Well, I guess we should go ahead. So 50 over 25 is what, 2? So that's what that would reduce to. So divide by 2, and what is k? 10. So your new equation, and then you can plug in the last bunch of numbers and solve for your new y. Every one of them today is going to be a two-part equation. A problem. Solve for k, and then use k to solve for your phantom variable. I'll get to that in just a second. It's actually even easier than all you did. But questions. I know we didn't quite finish up number 5, but I'm trusting you can just plug in the numbers correctly being solved. Yeah, 30 over what? 30 over 36? 5, 6? Yeah. 2x. Where do you see 2x? Oh, because as the square of z, so we squared it. Yeah. The equation will always come from your very first sentence. Jointly simply means multiple directly. So jointly as x and z simply means, it's basically just 2 directlies. Oh, z, not y. That's all jointly is. It's just multiple multiplications. You plug everything in on the first step, solve for k, and plug the stuff in on the second step. Boom, you're done. Yeah. Yep. Well, you could multiply by 25. I just chose to reduce 50 over 25 into 2 first. And then we divide by 2 to solve for k. It doesn't really matter. As long as you do it correctly, it shouldn't matter what order you do it in. There are going to be some, I guess. No? Since we're just doing multiplication division all day, those are commutative processes? That's the right word? So order doesn't matter. Because they all fall in the same place in the order of operations. Who can tell me how, raise your hand if you can tell me how 9 is going to set up, or if you want to take a stab at it. Tyler Mercy, go. Slow down. What do you start with every time? What? Right, okay, now go. Sorry, you're good. Keep going. Square root. You're right. Square root. Very good. You're exactly right. And then you just plug in y, a, b, and c and solve for k. And then go from there. Getting the equation is the hardest part. Yes, sir. Who finished number 5? I don't know. Yeah, you're right. And then it would reduce to. Yeah, very good. These are odd too, so they're in the back of your book in section 2.8 if you want to go back and check them. Any questions about this? This is everything. We're technically done. I'm going to look at one word problem with you because I did give you 1 or 2 of those. But they're just as easy. The only thing is you make up your own variables a lot of the time. The height that a ball bounces varies. So what's a variable? Anytime you see the word varies, whatever's right before it is what goes by itself on the side. So what do we want to call it? B varies. So that's how you're going to start. Now, go. Very good. And that's everything. Now all you have to do is plug in and solve for k. What do I plug in? 12 is the H or the B? Ball dropped from a height of 12 inches equals the bounce. Solve for k, and then once you solve for k, you would do the last part. Which, oh, I'm sorry? 0.7? Excellent. So your new equation is 0.7h. From what height was the ball dropped? If it bounces 56 inches. 56, where does it go? It says that it bounces 56 inches. We're finding the height. So it'll be 56 equals 0.7h. Just divide by 0.7. Questions? Awesome. There's only 7 problems from this section. They go pretty quick. And then there are review problems. 8 review problems today. Oh, cry. That's less than like